The college football season kicks off in less than 3 weeks. So we're coming off an amazing year in which Kyler Murray took the world by storm. See, you were golfing yesterday with someone who knows a thing or two about college football. You took a little break to preview the season. Thank you. I needed the preview. Take a look.
Welcome to Upper Montclair Country Club. Like I'm the member here, you're the member.
That's right.
We're your invited guest.
That's right.
My main guy.
My main man.
Gus Johnson, college football, college basketball, voice of reason, Dicker, the kicker.
Dicker, the kicker.
All right, give us a little summer preview of what we're looking for in college football.
The Ohio State University.
Yes.
You ever heard of that school?
Yes, with the transfer from
That's
Georgia.
Right. That's right.
Justin Fields, who's going to be a dynamic quarterback.
Yep.
I think he is a better version of Braxton Miller.
Well, Braxton Miller was a terrific player, terrific quarterback at Ohio State. But I'm interested in seeing what the new coach is going to do. Urban Meyer is gone now.
Ryan
He's
Day.
working with us. And Coach Day has got a lot of talent.
They got a lot of talent.
Right. So I think Ohio State is going to be there in the end. Don't sleep on the Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, okay.
What's up with that?
Okay.
What's up with that, son? Shea Patterson.
They might.
Jim Harbaugh.
They might want to play Ohio State now because Urban Meyer going. Because God knows.
You know, y'all got trouble. You got to
to
come to Ann Arbor this year.
You know what, Jim Harbaugh? He stooped so low this offseason. He's just talking about wherever Urban Meyer goes is trouble. Well, you know something?
Yeah.
There's still trouble.
There's still trouble.
The Buckeyes waiting for the big blue. That's your
main man.
That's your college football preview.
Yeah, he's taking so much money from
Joel
me
Klatt.
today. You know?
Bye-bye, man. I'm coming to get you.
That's my man.
These guys, by the way, played 27 yesterday. Very, very impressive. You guys have fun?
Oh, we had a great time. He also says watch out for Oklahoma and Georgia. If you look at the teams that faced against Alabama, Clemson's been one team that had success. Georgia, if they could finish one of those two games, they had Alabama defeated twice late.
And remember, Oklahoma now has the national champion quarterback of Alabama, formerly Jalen Hurts. So that should be very
And I know particularly you're rooting for him.
I am. I liked how he handled himself. I think he handled it a hell of a lot better at 20 years old than I would have at 30-something years old. The level of disappointment of having your job taken from you. So I think he's going to hit under Lincoln Riley, man. Lincoln Riley's had some pretty good success recently with quarterbacks there, so should be exciting.
And Joe Klatt, you're safe, man. I got my team.
Oh,
We're
okay.
square.
Good stuff. That's all I was really waiting to get to.
You take some money off Gus yesterday?
Well, you know.
Okay. Oh!
Back to the show. We'll talk Big Ben and the Steelers in a second, but first, SC30 Select Champ Steph Curry gets diced up by high school class of 2021 center Chet Holmgren. Good moves by the 7-footer.
There's a 7-footer at Steph Curry's camp, and he just mixes Steph at his own camp. This is great, man. That's a 7-footer just making moves. Now, he might need to put on a little weight.
You think?
Wait, he's 2 years away from high school graduation. Oh, the weight's going to come. He's getting ready to make a lot of money.
Orioles and Yankees and Mike Tauchman robbing a home run at the wall. There's the robbing.
Great timing here.
Okay.
He brings us. This was probably in the second row. Oh, nice. Right off the fans. The fan's hands was right against his glove. Great catch.
Come on, Oriole fans. You can't let him do that. Oh, he's all Yankee fans. That game was in Baltimore.
All right, Bengals, training camp, wideout Tyler Boyd, the 180 spin to haul in the catch.
Oh, this is one of the great rules in the slot, Nick, when you run the post corner. If the cornerback anticipates the corner, the quarterback's going to throw it at the back of your helmet. He's not going to be able to see it. It's called the back shoulder in the end zone on a corner route.
He's fresh off a 4-year, $43 million extension. They're going to need him with A.J. Green dealing with some injuries.
Yeah, that'd be one of the few highlights we're going to be showing for the Bengals.
Ben Roethlisberger is getting ready to start his 16th season at the ripe young age of 37. While he has clearly seen a lot of changes to this team, Big Ben remains the constant there. His tight end, Vance McDonald, is impressed with what he's seen. Said, quote, he's the best there is. I believe it when he says that he's going to be the best he's ever been this year. This is only the second camp that I've been to with him, and just his whole approach and demeanor is completely different this year. I think he's ready and willing to do everything that it takes to win another championship. All right, Steve, what does Big Ben need to do to put the Steelers back into contention after what happened last season?
Well, I'm not going to put it all on Ben. The Pittsburgh Steelers for the last several years have not had the type of defense that would say, are they a championship contender? Because several of those seasons, they did have the offense. They did have an offense that scored enough points, didn't turn the ball over enough. Because sometimes when you're an offense, you take a lot of chances. They turned the ball over some, but it wasn't enough that they couldn't be a top 10 offense. If you have a top 10 offense, if your defense is in the top 15, you're going to win a lot of football games. They have not been the fearsome Pittsburgh Steelers defense that we're used to seeing. That's been one of the surprises. Lack of overall discipline by Mike Tomlin, who seems to be a disciplinarian, and the lack of teeth that this defense has in that division that is super tough. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, get your defense fixed first. Get your linebacking crew fixed first. Present a consistent pass rush. Ben Roethlisberger is going to do what he's got to do. Does he have tremendous challenges? Absolutely. But his ability to make all the wide receivers feel comfortable, I think that's his responsibility. Because when you don't have a lot of accomplished wide receivers, you have to kind of give them a false bravado. You have to try to help them have some type of swag. Because ain't no one of the receivers, Juju, people respect him a little bit, but the rest of them, there's no respect. They're going to get a lot of man-to-man. They're going to get a lot of defenses that say, I don't respect you. And it's going to be very important that Ben, his messaging is very consistent, because regardless of what you want to see, most of these young receivers saw the relationship between him and AB. And I can understand Vance speaking up for his boy, the quarterback, but it's only his second year being there. But he noticed a drastic difference. To me, I hope Ben continues to be self-aware, because I'm sure he realized what happened, and a lot what went on. He could have helped the situation, and he ultimately was part of the problem, but him and Tomlin are the two there. L. Bell's gone. AB is gone. So Ben, as you can see through his teammates, I'm sure that he's made some drastic changes of how he's going about the rest of his career.
You and I didn't talk about this before the show, but you touched on something that was exactly where I was going to go, which is these two young receivers. Because listen, I feel like I know what Eli Rogers is in the NFL. I feel like I have a pretty good idea what Dante Moncrief is in the NFL. But Deontay Johnson, who they spent a third-round pick on in this year's draft. By the way, the Steelers have turned third-round picks at wide receiver into stars throughout the years. And this is a guy that had a 1,300-yard, 13-touchdown season in college at Toledo. Can Big Ben get a relationship with him and convince him, get his confidence to a level, say, man, we know the level of player you can be. That's why we drafted you into this organization that does nothing but draft receivers and turn them into great players. James Washington, who was on the wrong side of Ben Roethlisberger for part of last year, his final year at Oklahoma State had 1,500-yard, 13-touchdown season. These were highly productive collegiate receivers that Big Ben needs to tap into part of their psyche almost to help them regain that level of confidence, because to me, both those guys have more upside than the potential 2-3 on the team right now in Eli Rogers and Dante Moncrief.
But the problem with that, as you pointed out, James Washington, those college stats, a lot of times they don't transfer to the pros. In the Pac-10, there's not a whole bunch of cornerbacks that are moving into the NFL in the first couple rounds. I know in the MAC conference where Toledo plays, there's no corners that are playing in the NFL that he's going against. So the jump in competition, transitioning from college to the pro game at wide receiver is one of the toughest transitions. That's why I'm always a little bit leery as far as what are going to be the results, even when you have a veteran quarterback. I would much rather have a hodgepodge of veteran guys than a whole room full of young guys with no real leader in that room.
And you said the Pac-12. James Washington, you meant the Big 12 where there's no corners, where he's from Oklahoma State. But the point remains, like that is fair. You see a lot of receivers come out of that conference. Not a lot of corners come out of that conference.
And we see a lot of receivers have 1,500, 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 12 touchdown seasons.
And then, and doesn't translate fully to the NFL.
But then as far as Ben Roethlisberger goes, you have to imagine that maybe some of what we're seeing is this refreshing, renewed sense of optimism that, all right, we're coming in. Maybe the distractions left last year with now Lev Bell playing and Antonio Brown leaving. There's a sense now that this is my team again, and there's no more questions about who team this is. I just wonder how much of that plays into how successful he'll be.
Well, I think that could help, but what needs to happen first and foremost is the two things Chris pointed out. Stop throwing to the other team and stop throwing people under the bus. Like, stop. You can't lead the league in interceptions, and you can't blame other people for mistakes, even if they are their mistakes. Because if you're the adult and it's a bunch of kids, guess what? It's the responsibility of the adult. The buck stops with me on the field. Off the field, it can be Tomlin. If they have locker room mayhem, that's Tomlin. But Big Ben has gone the other way on that a lot of the times. Big Ben has gone where even his own mistakes, he blames others. If one of these young guys runs a wrong route and he's asked about it and it results in an interception, Big Ben needs to take that on him, even if it's unfair, because that's what the majority of quarterbacks in this league do.
Regardless of the turnover, typically we're getting 30 to 35% turnover on each team every year. But the veteran quarterbacks, the ones we brag about, that have really opened up this window of the greatest throwers ever, a lot of it's because we got 4 or 5 guys over 37. Eli, he's the man on the Giants. The Giants always say that. Phillip Rivers is the man on the Chargers. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, they're all the men. For us to think someone left and now it's Ben Roethlisberger, no. It's been Ben's team. Since Jerome Bettis left, after Hines Ward left, it's been Ben's team. The team reiterated that. He's not here. He's not here. It's always been his team. It's up to Ben to be able to make those adjustments late in his career to be able to provide the type of leadership that this young football team is dependent on him for.
All right, let's take a break there. Coming up, talk some Cowboys. Does Dak need Zeke more or Amari more in order to be successful? That's next on First Things First. It's a mouthful.